At 11:11 p.m. on May 27th, Archangel Michael has a final message about someone you thought loved you but they've been lying. Watch before it's erased. At 11:11 p.m. on May 27th, the veil will shift. A holy silence will be broken. A final trumpet in the spirit will sound, and Archangel Michael will descend with a word not meant for all but for you. For the one whose heart had been whispered to by heaven even when the world remained silent. For the one whose discernment trembled when love turned into confusion. You known. You felt. You suspected. And now you must see. This is not just a message. This is a final warning, and it will not be spoken again. Someone you believe. Someone you trusted. Someone who said, "I love you," has lied. Not once. Not by accident. But with intent. With spiritual cunning. With emotional camouflage. And while you smiled, they schemed. While you prayed, they plotted. And now, Archangel Michael, heaven's sword and shield, hath been sent with one final word before the scroll of this season is rolled up and erased. Watch closely, for this message will not remain. The divine clock ticks. The sands of sacred time fall. And what you are about to hear is not for those scrolling out of curiosity. It is not for the skeptical. It is not for the distracted. It is for the called, for the quiet, for the spiritually still who can hear the flutter of angel wings behind veils. Heaven saw what your heart could not bear to voice. Heaven recorded what your soul tried to overlook. And now, this is your divine interruption. A final unveiling before midnight strikes. Before the blessing is delayed or delivered. This is your moment. This is your message. And it begins now. Type "I am ready to hear" in the comments if you feel this message stirring. Blessing code 777 is now opening over your life. In the thundering silence between heaven and earth, in the split moment where your spirit paused and your flesh still moved, Archangel Michael stepped forward, not in hesitation, but in holy urgency. With the authority of divine flame, with wings that stretch beyond the veil of your understanding, he declares, before midnight strikes, you must know the truth. Not tomorrow, not when it's convenient, not when you're ready, but now. For the clock is not counting time, it's counting trust. And yours hath been violated. This message is not an echo. It is not a whisper. It is not soft comfort for a quiet night. It is thunder wrapped in revelation. It is a divine interruption. A supernatural exhale sent to shatter the fog that's wrapped around your discernment. What you're hearing is not just content. This is not a YouTube video. This is your soul's checkpoint. Your spirit knows this. That's why you haven't clicked away. That's why your chest is tightening, your mind racing, your memory flashing with faces and words and feelings you tried to forget. Because heaven is speaking, and your soul recognizes the voice. You, the listener of this word, you were called to this moment. The numbers 1111 did not flicker by mistake. The alignment is not an algorithm. It is a divine alert. The heavens scheduled this confrontation. Archangel Michael is not simply speaking, he is summoning. Summoning your awareness. Summoning your strength. Summoning the version of you that your pain tried to bury. Hear this clearly. Something sacred is being buried in your life. This message exhumes it. There hath been a cover-up in your soul, a burial of trust, of knowing, of spiritual clarity. But heaven has refused to let the burial go unnoticed. Heaven refused to let the betrayal go unanswered. You are not forgotten. You are not unseen. And now, the sword of the Archangel cuts through the web of illusion. Do not mistake this revelation for common insight. This is not for entertainment. This is for alignment. This is for your soul. This message is not for the curious but the called. It is not for those who wish to merely listen, but for those destined to rise. There is a fire in these words, and only those anointed to endure the heat will hear it fully. The rest will scroll past. The rest will call it coincidence. But you, chosen one, you know better. Something was spoken in heaven about your life. And now, that word has descended through Michael's voice to find you. For weeks now, heaven has observed you, watched you pacing, watched you replaying conversations, watched you second-guessing your worth because someone else withheld truth. Your angels have not been silent. They have been preparing this message, preparing this moment. This is your wake-up call. This is your holy confrontation. So listen, and listen with every fiber of your spirit. For Archangel Michael speaks not with the softness of comfort, but with the steel of clarity. He speaks because the time is short. He speaks because the lie is unraveling. He speaks because your freedom is at stake. Before midnight strikes, you must know the truth, because after this hour, everything changes. Type "I am anointed" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1516 is now activated. They smiled with you. They laughed with you. They stood beside you and called it loyalty. They swore on shared memories. They wrapped themselves in the language of affection. But behind closed doors, their mouth formed different stories. Behind your back, their hands moved differently. And what they said in your presence was never what they confessed in your absence. Archangel Michael does not come bearing gossip. He comes bearing divine truth. A truth you already sensed. A truth you already carried in the quiet ache of your soul. Do you remember the strange dreams? The ones where faces blurred, voices faded, but the feeling of betrayal lingered like smoke in your spirit. Do you remember waking up confused, disoriented, with emotions you couldn't name? That was not random. That was revelation. That was your intuition, begging to be heard. You felt it. In conversations that ended too quickly. In messages left unread. In the sudden distance. In the shift of tone. In the presence that turned cold. You felt something sacred was dying, but they smiled as though everything was fine. And you blamed yourself. You thought maybe you were overthinking. You thought maybe you were too sensitive. You thought if you just prayed harder, loved deeper, waited longer, they would come back whole. But they were never whole to begin with. Not with you. Not with the truth. Heaven has watched this imbalance. Heaven has witnessed the storm inside you. The what but we what you know and what you we wasn't true. And now Michael confirms, you are not wrong. The unease was real. The suspicion was holy. The silence was not neglect. It was spiritual preparation. You were being prepared for this unveiling. They called it love but used it as a mask. They wore it like a costume, convincing even themselves. But the Spirit sees what flesh cannot, and the Spirit has revealed what they offered was not love. It was access. It was convenience. It was proximity to your light without reverence for your soul. Archangel Michael saw what you weren't supposed to. He saw the words spoken about you in rooms you were never invited into. He saw the laughter that mocked your sincerity. He saw the rehearsals of affection designed to manipulate your forgiveness. And now he says, enough. No more pretending. No more giving the benefit of the doubt to those who cashed in on your innocence. You are not the problem. You are the proof. Proof that real love still exists. Proof that loyalty is still alive. And that proof threatened their deception. They didn't just lie to you. They lied on you. They twisted truth to justify their exits. But now heaven untwists the narrative. Heaven clears your name. Heaven says, you were never too much. They were too little. And now their mask begins to slip. If this message resonates with you and you feel moved to support, consider giving a super thanks with contributions of up to $20. Your kindness helps us bring more powerful content your way. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating through the support here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. Type I am chosen in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 999 is now surrounding you. This was never just about love. This betrayal, this confusion, this unraveling of truth, it was not merely the ending of a connection. It was the staging ground of a spiritual confrontation. You see, what appeared to be heartbreak was actually a heavenly assignment. What you thought was personal pain was actually divine positioning. And Archangel Michael reveals now, this was not random. This was war. And you were the turret not because of who you were with, but because of what you carry. You are anointed. You are marked. You are chosen. And those who are chosen are not tempted by weak distractions. They are tested by powerful imitations. This person, the one who claimed to love you, was not just a partner. They were a mirror sent to reveal what you've ignored in yourself. They came clothed in charm but carried the spirit of sabotage. They weren't after your heart. They were after your crown. And when they realized they couldn't handle your light, they tried to dim it. Do not be deceived. This was never just emotional. It was spiritual. Heaven and hell both heard your name. And when heaven began to write your next chapter, hell sent a counterfeit to delay your destiny. That relationship was not sent to build you. It was sent to break your rhythm, to distort your reflection, to drain your discernment. But Archangel Michael declares today, your soul was stronger than their seduction. Your spirit remained alert even when your heart was wounded. And that strength was noticed. Heaven took record. Every moment you held back your tears in prayer. Every time you chose peace instead of retaliation. Every second you whispered, God, I trust you while your world collapsed. It was not wasted. It was warfare. You stood while being stabbed in spirit. You smiled while being drained in silence. And heaven said, this one is worthy. Now hear this. The betrayal was not permitted by heaven, but the exposure was. Heaven did not orchestrate the lie, but it will redeem the lesson. The damage they did will become the platform for your dominion. The hurt they caused will be recycled into healing oil for others. What they meant for harm has become a heavenly key. Because now you see. Now you know. Now you rise. You are not a victim. You are a vessel. And the pain you endured was not punishment. It was purification. The fire wasn't sent to destroy you. It was sent to forge you. And now, the forging is complete. Now, the testing is shifting. Now, you are being promoted, not in status, but in spirit. Your next season does not begin with applause. It begins with awareness. And with awareness comes authority. You are under angelic summons. You have been watched. You have been weighed. And heaven has found you ready. What's coming next is not something you chase. It's something you attract. Because of what you survived. Because of who you did not become. Because of the way you still chose integrity in a season of betrayal. Remember this. The liar was never greater than your assignment. The deception was never stronger than your destiny. And your anointing was never theirs to destroy, only yours to reclaim. Type I am protected in the comments if you receive this message. Lesson code 4444 is now being released over you. The liar is not finished. Even now, as you listen to this word, Their spirit is stirring. Your mask is slipping. Your lies are shifting, adjusting, reformulating, because darkness doesn't rest. It reinvents. And heaven is issuing a prophetic alert through Archangel Michael. The one who betrayed you is not idle. They are moving, plotting, whispering, preparing to wrap deception in a new disguise. This is not to scare you. This is to prepare you. Within the next 72 hours, something will shift. You may not see it immediately, but you will feel it. A conversation, a slip of the tongue, a message you weren't meant to see, a glance from someone who knows more than they should. Their mask will crack, not for you, but for someone else. Heaven is orchestrating exposure not through confrontation, but confirmation. This is your instruction. Do not confront. This is not your battle. This is not your hour to argue. This is not the time to justify what heaven is already exposing. If you speak too soon, you delay your elevation. If you defend yourself, you step into a war of words that was never yours to begin with. Archangel Michael says, "Be still, for heaven is confronting them on your behalf." Silence is not weakness. Silence is not retreat. Silence is strategy. And right now, your silence is the stage upon which God will perform justice. Every lie, every manipulation, every hidden motive, it will be revealed, not by your hand, but by divine orchestration. You are not powerless. You are hidden. Hidden in plain sight. Cloaked in spiritual stillness. The liar thinks they've escaped consequence, but the heavens have already issued a summons. Their spiritual actions have triggered a heavenly response. And now, they will be watched. They will be weighed. And they will be witnessed, falling by their own fabrications. Do not miss this. There is more to this situation. More deception. More layers. But heaven will not reveal it yet. Why? Because your heart is still healing, and revelation without readiness becomes poison. What heaven will not speak now, it will seal until you are strong enough to handle it. Trust the timing. Trust the silence. You are at a crossroads. The next move is not theirs, it's yours. Will you rest in divine justice? Or will you rush to prove yourself? Will you trust heaven's hand? Or will you try to hold your own sword? Choose wisely. Your next season depends on it. Type "I trust heaven" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 3131 is surrounding your steps now. Now that the warning has been spoken, now that the veil has been lifted, heaven does not leave you to wander in confusion. No, Archangel Michael brings not only revelation, but strategy. Divine protection is not simply about shielding you from harm. It is about guiding you into wisdom. You are not just being protected from what they did. You are being preserved for what you are about to become. And so the command is clear. Withdraw. Step back. Not in fear. Not in defeat. But in power. In stillness. In divine authority. Silence is not your retreat. It is your strategy. In a world that mistakes noise for power, your quiet will be thunder. In a war where the enemy expects your reaction, your calm will be your weapon. You must understand this. Heaven does not fight with chaos. Heaven fights with clarity. And clarity has already revealed the battlefield. The war is not external. It is spiritual. It is fought in the unseen. And in the unseen, your posture must shift. Do not chase answers. Do not demand apologies. Do not seek closure from people who were never your covenant. Your soul's safety is not in confrontation. It is in consecration. Let them wonder why you're quiet. Let them question your peace. Let them try to decipher the smile on your face while their lies unravel behind them. Your quietness will confuse their chaos. Your stillness will frustrate their strategy. Because while they expect retaliation, you offer release. And nothing disrupts darkness more than a soul that refuses to descend into it. Hear this clearly. Heaven fights when you don't. Your silence is not absence. It is activation. It activates angelic interference. It activates spiritual shields. It activates a divine rewiring of the very narrative they tried to destroy you with. You are not defenseless. You are defended. Archangel Michael surrounds you. Even now. His wings shield your name. His fire seals your next season. You are hidden, not in obscurity but in spiritual camouflage. The enemy sees you but cannot reach you. Their words will fall flat. Your plots will collapse. Your alliances will fail. Because your silence has placed you in the safest space of all, the shadow of the Almighty. Begin to posture your soul now. Sit in prayer. Observe. Watch you. Do not rush. Do not beg. Do not explain. Do not apologize for growing beyond what once held you. This is your turning. This is your divine realignment. And heaven is working while you are watching. What was meant to shame you will now shape you. What was meant to trap you will now train you. You will not go under, you will go up. And as you ascend, the whispers of deception will lose their grip. You are being preserved for impact. You are being hidden for glory. You are being protected, not because you are fragile, but because you are favored. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. No whisper formed against your name shall stand. No watcher formed against your rise shall prevail. You are cloaked. You are covered. You are cradled in the hands of justice. Type I am covered in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 2929 is now surrounding your space. And now we shift. No longer will your identity be filtered through pain. No longer will your voice tremble under the weight of betrayal. No longer will your spirit shrink to make room for counterfeit connections. The time of grief has passed. The ashes have cooled. And now, Archangel Michael declares, you rise. You're no longer the broken, burying they betrayed. You are no longer standing in the same space they left you in. Something has changed. Not outside of you, but within. There is fire in your eyes now. Not bitterness, but brilliance. Not rage, but revelation. You are not the same. Like a phoenix, you rise from the embers of what they tried to extinguish. You rise with wisdom carved by wounds. You rise with discernment sharpened by disappointment. You rise not as the one who begs to be loved, but as the one who knows they were loved by heaven all along. What they did not see, heaven crowned. What they walked away from, heaven preserved. What they tried to bury, heaven resurrected. You are not their regret. You are heaven's release. You were not discarded. You were being redefined. Let this be your decree. They didn't leave you. Edamamu them. Heaven ejected what could no longer exist in the orbit of your ascension. You were not abandoned. You were upgraded. And now you must walk like it. You are not their victim. You are heaven's weapon. Sharpened. Refined. Dangerous in truth and bold in faith. The fire did not consume you. It purified you. The storm did not drown you. It anointed you. Every tear became oil. Every silence became strategy. Every prayer became a scroll that heaven answered in fire. Now they don't recognize you. And they are not supposed to. You have become untraceable to those who only knew you in your brokenness. You are not who you were when they met you. You are not who you were when they manipulated you. You are not who you were when they misnamed you. That version has died, and what stands now is stronger, wiser, bolder, unshakable. From wounded to warrior, this is your rise. If this message has stirred your spirit and you'd like to support this ministry, consider giving a super thanks with gifts of up to $10. Your contribution helps us share more divine truth and encouragement. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating through the support here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. Type "I am risen" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1818 is now activating your new identity. Now the veil parts even further. Now the purpose behind the pain begins to speak. Now heaven reveals the secret that the silence was holding. Archangel Michael declares with burning clarity, the betrayal was never about the person. It was always about your position. The lie they told, the mask they wore, the love they faked. It was all a divine trigger, a holy activation, a push into purpose disguised as heartbreak. You did not just lose someone. You found something. You found your threshold. You found your voice. You found your breaking point. And then you found your breakthrough. And that breakthrough, child of purpose, was not accidental. It was orchestrated. Your lie. It wasn't just manipulation. It was a marker in the spirit. It marked the end of one version of you and the beginning of another. God allowed their dissection, not because he condoned it, but because he knew what it would awaken in you. That pain had prophecy in it. The betrayal was a doorway, a divine door hidden behind human dishonor. And when they walked away, heaven stepped in. When they rejected you, God redefined you. When they spoke against you, angels began writing about you. And now the real story begins. You thought your spirit broke, but heaven says, no, your spirit was sharpened. You were not crushed. You were carved. And the pieces you lost were not the most important parts. They were the weights that kept you grounded in delay. Now you are lighter. Now you are swifter. Now you are more dangerous to the kingdom of darkness, because you have been forged in truth. And what does heaven promise? Heaven promises restoration, but not restoration as you've imagined it. Not a return to what was, but an elevation to what never was. A realm of clarity, confidence, and divine calling that you would never have stepped into if comfort had remained. Heaven never wanted you comfortable. Heaven wanted you crowned. What you lost in illusion, you now gain in revelation. The truth hurts, but it also heals. And now you are healed in a place that will never be touched by falsehood again. The pain was deep because the purpose is greater. What you thought would kill you has become your consecration. What you thought disqualified you has become your divine credential. Listen closely. There is a scroll in heaven with your name on it. A purpose etched in eternal ink. Your destiny is not up for debate. Your assignment is not subject to the lies of others. And your future is not canceled because of their betrayal. Their exit was not your ending. You with heaven's entrance, and I'll walk with your head lifted, because this season carries weight, and that weight is glory. You are a carrier of something sacred, and the people who lied about you, they were never written in the final chapter. They were only permitted to play their role, so your real identity could be revealed. Your name is written where their name never was, in the book of purpose. Let that be your confidence. Let that be your anchor. Let that be your reminder when the memories come back. You were chosen before their lies. You were anointed before their betrayal. And now you are being launched into a level that cannot be reversed. Now you know, and now you rise. Type "I receive purpose" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 888 is now anchoring your destiny. This is not the end. Do not mistake the stillness for silence. Do not confuse the release for rejection. This is not abandonment. This is activation. The moment your heart shattered, the moment your tears hit the floor, heaven began moving. And now, Archangel Michael speaks again. This is your invitation. This is your call to movement. This is not a closing, it's a commencement. You are not who you were, so you cannot stay where you are. It is time to write. It is time to speak. It is time to move. It is time to declare. Your voice is not just meant to cry, it is meant to command. Your heart is not just meant to feel, it is meant to fuel. Your pain is not just meant to be processed, it is meant to produce power. Declare it now. I was never broken. I was being built. Say it aloud. Let the walls hear it. Let the atmosphere shift around it. Let the demons who doubted you hear it. Let the angels assigned to you amplify it. Because this is not a whisper. This is a war cry. You are stepping out of delay. You are walking into dominion. Your spiritual muscles have been trained in battle, and now they are ready to carry your mantle. Heaven is waiting for your yes. Your full yes. Not a timid agreement. Not a maybe. Not a 1 foot in, 1 foot out mindset. But a full body, whole heart, no turning back surrender to the mission placed upon your life. Heaven cannot move what you refuse to speak. Heaven cannot bless what you hide in fear. But when you speak, the realm responds. When you move, the angels align. You have the authority to shift atmospheres now. You don't need validation. You don't need applause. You don't even need full understanding. All you need is obedience. Obedience activates overflow. Obedience unlocks doors no one saw coming. Obedience silences enemy before they even speak. Let the spiritual world hear your name. Say it. I return. I reclaim. I rise. You've waited long enough. You've healed long enough. You've questioned long enough. The time for contemplation has passed. Now is the hour for action. You were not preserved to sit in silence. You were prepared to storm the gates. You are not entering the next season shy. You are entering it saturated in fire. You are the miracle that was born from mourning. You are the weapon that was shaped in warfare. You are the answer someone has been praying for. And the longer you delay, the longer someone else remains in need. Do not waste this moment. This is your movement moment. Don't miss it. Type ISAYYES in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1717 is now igniting your next move. While you wept, heaven was working. While your body trembled under the weight of what you didn't understand, your spirit was traveling into realms where human language cannot speak. Traveling into chambers where angelic scribes documented every tear, every tremor, every prayer you whispered in agony. Archangel Michael speaks now. What was stolen from you is being returned in secret. There has been a silent exchange in the spirit. A transaction not marked by noise but by obedience. Not signed by human hands, but sealed by divine decrees. You did not know it, but your surrender was currency. Your pain was not only emotional, it was spiritual payment. And heaven never lets its faithful give without recompense. A betrayal. They took something. The heartbreak. They withdrew something. But heaven has declared, for everything the enemy extracted, there shall be divine return. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Heaven negotiated what you didn't even know was missing. While you fought to keep your peace, God was reclaiming pieces of you that had been scattered. While you cried yourself to sleep, angels were dispatching new blueprints. While your heart broke, heaven was authoring a new bond, between you and the purpose you thought you lost. There was never a void, only a vault. And that vault has been opened. You understand? Do you feel it? That strange sensation that something has shifted, but you can't name it. That was not imagination. That was not coincidence. That was your spirit attending a council, a sacred gathering where your name was spoken. Your destiny was recalibrated. Your steps were realigned. And now you are walking into what was exchanged on your behalf. You didn't lose anything. What was taken was tainted. What was stolen was spoiled. What was broken was never meant to remain. And now, the return is holy, sanctified, multiplied. This exchange was not fair, it was favor. You are receiving more than what was lost. Because heaven never restores to the level of your past, it restores to the level of your calling. Archangel Michael declares, you are catching up to what's already been done. The shift happened before the sign appeared. A reversal occurred before the apology was offered. The blessing was written before the betrayal was revealed. And you are just now arriving at what your obedience activated. That moment you couldn't explain, when you felt peace in the middle of your pain. That was your spirit attending the exchange. That dream that didn't make sense, where you stood taller, spoke louder, walked freer. That was your spirit rehearsing the next chapter. You've already been given clearance. The paperwork in heaven is signed. Nothing was lost. It was multiplied. Type I claim the exchange in the comments if you receive this message. Lesson code 4545 is now active in your spirit. Justice is awake. Let the heavens declare it. Let the watchers record it. Let the liars tremble at the sound of it. Justice has not been delayed. It had been developing. What you thought was silence was strategy. What you thought was divine neglect was divine setup. Archangel Michael steps forward now with thunder in his voice. The scales have been balanced. The gavel has struck. Spiritual justice is in motion. They did not get away with it. Not in spirit. Not in silence. Every whisper spoken against your name. Every manipulation masked as love. Every word meant to wound and every silence meant to punish. Heaven is not forgotten. Heaven is not passive. And now heaven responds. Do you hear it? The sound of divine reversal. It echoes through the unseen realms. What they sent your way is returning, not simply returned, but multiplied. Because God is not petty. He is precise. He does not need to expose with vengeance. He exposes with vision. And when God moves, He does not need your hand. He needs your trust. The liar will face the fruit of their own deception. Not by your tongue, not by your tears, but by truth itself. Heaven's light is too pure to allow shadows to go unchallenged. And now, the light has found them. They will be known by their own doing, not your defending. You will not have to speak for yourself. The reversal will speak for you. Let this be known in the spirit. Your destiny is fireproof. The flames of betrayal could not consume it. The heat of deception could not distort it. You are untouchable not because you are perfect, but because you are protected. The more they tried to destroy you, the more indestructible you became. What they aimed to unravel only revealed the strength of your design. This is not just reversal. This is restoration with interest. Everything stolen will be returned, but wrapped in favor. Every lie told will be met with revelation. Every secret spread will be met with spiritual elevation. God does not just return what was lost. He redeems what was misused. And you are about to step into vindication you didn't even pray for. The battle is over. The verdict is divine. Your name is being cleared in places you never knew it was slandered. Your character is being defended in rooms you were excluded from. And your spirit, it is soaring beyond every limitation they tried to place on you. You were never the villain. You were never the failure. You were never the fool. You were the vessel, the chosen one, the firewalker. And now, the heavens echo. Justice is here. Justice is now. And everything Stola returns wrapped in favor. Type "Justice is mine" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 6565 is now releasing your reversal. You were lied to, but you were never abandoned. This message, this sacred unveiling, was never about punishment. It was about preparation. It was about pulling back the curtain so your spirit could step fully into the light. Archangel Michael now speaks for the last time in this message. What needed to be exposed has been exposed. What needed to be released has been released. And what needed to be revealed has been revealed. You stand on the other side, not as the wounded, but as the warrior. Not as the confused, but as the called. You are not defined by what was done to you. You are defined by what heaven is doing through you. And heaven is not through. This message marks an ending, yes, but more powerfully, it marks a beginning. A sacred threshold has been crossed. And now you must walk with the fire that has refined you, with the oil that now flows from the cracks they tried to create. Archangel Michael walks before you now, a shield of truth, a flame of justice, a defender of your destiny. His wings cover you. His sword goes before you, and no darkness formed against your next chapter shall succeed. This is your seal. You are seen. You are chosen. You are sent. The delay is over. The doubt is done. The deception has ended. And now, the clarity begins. At 11:11 p.m., the truth arrived. Now rise, and walk in it. Type "I am sealed" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1212 is now sealing your next chapter.